here at Mammoth Cave to do a little tour on the historic tour. Got my jacket on because they say it's 52 degrees inside the cave. We went to a little briefing and it said that the cave, actual size of the cave is 7 square miles, but within that 7 square miles is 412 miles of pathway. So it's a pretty good size cave. So anyway, we're getting ready to start here. We'll be getting back to you here shortly. This shows the passageways of the entire cave system. Over 400 miles of passages in Mammoth Cave.
A national park then, but I think we've even discovered more things about it since then. So know that going into Mammoth Cave and going into this entrance is different than stopping by some little commercial cave along the road somewhere. To start with, you're all going into the world's longest cave. You can't get that anyplace else but walking right there. You're going into a geologic wonder. You're going into a place that people were exploring before the pyramids of Egypt were built. So it has this long human history. And you're also going into a place that's an important piece of American history. Now, I've been a caver for about 100 years now. I have had the privilege and opportunity to go explore caves all over the United States and in a few other countries. And what you find is that caves are literally time capsules. People go in them, they do things in caves, they leave things in caves, and one way or another, things are preserved. And Mammoth is a really great example of that. So we'll go in there and we're going to have a chance to see some of the stuff they took in and see what some of these folks were up to. So it's a pretty neat place to check out. Now, certainly, hopefully we have a fun adventure today. Perhaps we learn a few things about Mammoth Cave, but my primary concern is always about your safety and about protecting the place. And it's really not too difficult. As far as the resource goes, we want to avoid any kind of activity that would in any way change or damage the cave. Our fancy weather stations hooked to a computer. And we're collecting all kinds of data about temperature and humidity and airflow and direction and all that kind of stuff associated with the cave. Now, I said this place was an important piece of American history. And it is. And Mammoth is different than what you would deal with on the surface in our historical past, because underground things don't break down. They don't degrade the way they would on the surface. Anything that would have happened on the surface several hundred years ago, if just left to nature, would have been probably knocked down. It would have been covered with several feet of debris. But down here in the cave, things that are done, well, they're pretty much still the way today that they were left several hundred years ago, unless folks doing other things in the cave have changed them, and we have done that to some extent. So what we have been walking by are remnants of an operation where they were processing nitrates back in the early 1800s. Now, it became very important during our Second War for Independence. Of course, most of us are aware of the American Revolution, 1776, all that kind of stuff. But we ended up in another conflict with Great Britain several decades later. Became known as the War of 1812. It was going to be important that we produce nitrates domestically so that we could manufacture gunpowder to defend ourselves. These large caves in places like Kentucky and in Virginia were storehouses of large amounts of those nitrates. They said there was a path worn smooth by people who had been here before them. And those people were ancient Native Americans. They left behind a lot of stuff, just like the European Americans did. They explored miles and miles of the cave, carrying little burning sticks. They brought tools in the cave. They brought containers for food and water. And they also brought containers to take out what they were looking for. Because as it turns out, they were actually the first miners in Mammoth Cave. Now, a lot of this organic material we can date using some various sophisticated scientific techniques. And so today, we've been able to push the date back that we know people were exploring Mammoth Cave for probably something a little over 5,000 years. Now, there were folks in this part of the world a lot longer ago than that. But we can put them in the cave during that time period. They were taking out various minerals from the dirt of the cave and off of the wall. And probably the best place to point that out would be for all of you just to turn around and look at that wall right there. Now, the cave has a layer of gypsum which has leached out of the gray limestone. Gypsum is typically kind of a creamy, whitish color.
It really jerks up here. Oh. Yeah. Do a selfie.
You're actually crawling up through here.
Oh, we need one with you in there. Here. Good Lord, I'm glad you. Sorry. We got the amber glow. Come on.
That's right.
Oh, wow, hit my butt.
This is so deep you can't even see the very bottom of this pit. Well, so what did we learn from the Mammoth Cave? First of all, it's mammoth. It's huge. The main caves have tributaries running off of them, which are channels, and there's over 420 some odd miles of those channels. If you were to take the walking tours of every one of the tours, you would walk over 14 miles. We walked on the historical tunnel or cave today, which outlined where it started, how it started, what they were doing, and they were mining some saltpeter out of there for making ammunition, and back in the 1800s, and so that's what that was all about. But anyway, it was really cool. It was nice. Got the senior discount. Had the park pass. I think it cost us, I don't know, $12 a person or something like that to take it. You need to make reservations if you're going to do it, and you can make reservations online. So anyway, that's kind of where we are with that. It was a great trip today. Mammoth Cave, we highly recommend it. From Bowling Green north, it's about 20, maybe 24 miles north of Bowling Green on Interstate 65. So anyway, check you later.